And it is now 7 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Chris Marks.
I'm Lee Barrows.
And welcome to the Tuesday edition. Did I get it right?
You did.
Ah, doggone.
Good job.
So far, no mistakes today. It's early, really early. Beautiful, beautiful day in the neighborhood and the surrounding area, too. Looking nice out there this morning. So we'll be talking about the weather here as we go along. But the days... It's almost dark now still. Wow.
And
So you folks out there, we're going to remind you pretty much every day for the rest of your lives that today school is in session here in Onslow County. Some other places already have had school.
I heard Camp Lejeune actually went back last week.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they've already been in a week.
Anyway, you guys, there's this thing, this big old orange space that's out there, especially when it's foggy, if you're driving to work in the early morning hours when you're still about half asleep, forgot your makeup, yada, yada, yada. And you're doing it while you're driving and you're looking in the mirror to make sure you got everything cool, and somebody's calling you on the telephone, your spouse is saying, hey, you forgot this. Can go around, come back. No, can you bring it to me? And you're going to be doing all that. You're doing everything except paying attention to the road. Now, this time of year, that time of morning, when you're still asleep, maybe that first or second cup of coffee doesn't work. Maybe you're like me, you don't drink coffee, and you're still asleep, or mostly. And it's darker. And there's big flashing looking reddish things up there and some orange lights and stuff. You don't pay any attention to it until it's too late, right? Don't. Put all that other crap away. Put it in the trunk of your car. Leave it home. Do whatever until you get to work. Or leave 30 minutes early and go to work and do all the stuff you should have done at home by getting up earlier. Right?
Yes.
correct.
So
I encountered school buses this morning. I just sat back and let them do their thing and
is
stayed out
the
of the way.
death of a 6 or 7, 8, 10-year-old kid worth
No.
your convenience in the mornings?
No.
Believe me, about the time you collide with a bus or you hit a kid that's running across the road to get to the school bus, you're going to regret ever taking silly steps not to do the right thing, because that's going to be with you for the rest of your life.
I agree. It's not worth being in a rush. If you're late, you're late.
You better be late, better to be late than it is to hurt somebody, because you're going to
Mhm.
and you're going to miss a whole lot of work after that too.
I do
That's
appreciate the people, the parents that sit in their cars
Oh, I do.
Oh,
too.
with the
yes.
children, and maybe some of the other children gathered near the car.
Yeah.
I've seen
It's
a lot of
nice to
that.
have an adult there
Yeah.
to watch over
Yes, it
everybody.
is. And a lot of neighborhoods, they do things like that. They take
Mhm.
turns,
Yeah.
if you will. Child watch. We're out
Ah.
here. But drivers also beware. As a former bus driver, I know the little kids, the little darlings, I'll call them right now.
Mhm.
But that's before they get aboard the bus. After they get aboard the bus, anyway.
Loud.
But those little kids in the morning, they're excited. They may be on the other side of the highway. They may come running across the road the minute they say, "Here comes the bus." You've been at bus stops, have you not? Did you ever ride a bus?
Mhm.
When do you see the bus coming over the top of the hill or around the curve or whatever? Here comes the bus. Everybody gets excited. And even if you're on the other side of the road, you get out there in the middle of the road and look. Here he comes. Here he comes. Watch. These kids, you are the adult. You're the guy with the driver's license. So it's up to you.
And be patient, especially if you're on the main roads. I'll give you one example, Roadstown Road. And
Yeah.
buses will stop, every corner or something, but they're doing it for a reason. That's because that's a main road, and they don't want the children walking along the
Nope.
side, the edges of the road.
The rule used to be they would stop no closer than every 0.2 of a mile.
Yeah.
But, 0.2 of a mile, That means a kid may have to walk up to 1/10 of a mile. That's 528 feet, just in case y'all are keeping less than 2 lengths of a football field. So that's not bad.
No.
As long as the parents train the kids on what to do. That is the maximum that they should have to walk. Okay. School buses cannot stop as they're approaching a curve. Cars coming around the curve, they've got to have time to stop once they see the school bus is stopped. So school bus drivers, they know what they have to do, and it may have to be that that kid has to walk a little bit further to get back to the bus. They can stop in the middle of the curve as long as they can be seen from both directions. God, these old school days are coming back. I remember those rules so much. But we, the drivers today, it's up to us. The bus drivers do their part. Now it's up to us to make sure we do our part. Okay, I'll get off of it.
No, it's a good subject, yeah. It's never worth not mentioning.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand what goes on in the bus, what the driver's having to do, and they probably have forgotten, you 25-year-olds, how excitable kids are when they're just getting ready to go to school and they're out there with their friends and they're all cutting up beside the road. We used to play catch beside the road, carry our glove. We'd all have a mitt and a baseball. We'd sit there, wait for the bus, and we're throwing the ball back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I was coming down.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember it. And I thought about that driving to the studios today. And I'm down Ramsey Road, and all the kids are like this.
Oh yeah. That's even worse because they can't see what's coming, hitting them with their thumbs.
Yes.
Throw those things in the garbage and get yourself a baseball mitt.
Well, this year, the North Carolina General Legislature passed a new law. You cannot use your cell phones in the school
During school,
during school hours.
unless there's an emergency. That's the only time it should be used.
Wonder how they're handling
You
it.
know that when pagers were coming out, that they would not let you have a pager in school for the longest time.
What did you need a pager for?
Drug deals.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. I'm not
I'm
kidding
like,
you.
okay.
That
Meet
would
me
be
in
the
the
only
corner.
reason.
Meet me here, there, whatever. Your supplier was probably off campus. Meet me at the corner. No,
That would be the only reason.
that's the way things were. I'm a realist. I worked on the other side of that
Well,
time.
that's kind of what I was reading is like, what do you need?
You don't need a pager.
Because you're up to no good if you have one.
There you go.
That's kind of like what I was referring to. I mean, why do you need a pager?
Yeah. Well, and cell
used to
phones
have
give
a
you every
pager.
opportunity to cheat, and they do also. I mean, they wouldn't let me have a slide rule to take tests with because it was cheating.
I got all my
Calculators.
answers on this cell phone right now,
Yeah.
Rayford. Why did you bring that up from my tests in a couple?
I don't know
weeks?
what they do now. They allow that in your test or not. But when I took like
I'm
the
not worried
commercial,
about it. It's gonna be what it is.
broadcast stuff, the first class stuff. I was in Miami taking that thing. Oh my God, I got everything but searched. You ain't got nothing but, and you can't even bring your own scrap paper or pencil.
No.
They didn't trust them. Oh, really? This is, of course, in the 60s, but here's some scrap paper. All you need to do all your figuring the stuff on. Okay. No slide rule.
So I'm going to use my phone's calculator. Okay.
Yeah.
I joke about it. I
You know,
would never cheat.
And your examiner a week from now, she's got it. You have to, that doesn't work, but she has to go to,
My leg's itching.
she uses a separate room for the exam.
Well,
and
I'm
she's got-
sure, yes.
And that room has got, I don't want to tell you this in advance. It's got a cell phone blocker. She pushes,
Yeah,
she carries
whatever.
one with her in her briefcase. She
Sure.
does. Ask Carol.
Uh-huh.
And it blocks all cell phone traffic in or out.
If it has
Seriously.
to go to that
That's-
point,
It's not going
then I don't need to be there.
No, you don't. You're fine.
Let me tell you how she's going to do it. Okay. And I go to an old Gomer Pyle
I'm
episode.
not running for
I can see Lee
office.
now. And she's taking the test and she's going into her pocket here and she's going,
What?
She doesn't
and
have
she
a
gets,
pocket.
then she gets 100 and the teacher whoever's giving the test goes, Let's see what you got in your pocket. And it's a picture of you. She's doing it for you.
That is really scary.
No, Gomer took a test to become a
Oh.
PFC, and he had a picture of Sergeant Carter.
Oh,
He wanted to.
just knew what he was talking about. Okay, gotcha.
Sorry, I should have. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay, nothing new, and the investigations continuing into the collision between a jet ski, also known as a personal watercraft, and a pontoon boat on a river south of Little Washington last Friday afternoon. Jack O'Neill, a passenger on the jet ski, was killed in the collision. He would have turned 14 next week. The driver, who was 14, had minor injuries. No one on board the pontoon boat, which was operated by 69-year-old Oscar Woolard, was injured. Wildlife enforcement officers are charged with investigating boating mishaps in North Carolina. No charges have been filed yet, and there was no indication of alcohol or drug use, according to the wildlife officer. An investigation is continuing.
Very sad story.
Yeah, and then when I was looking at that yesterday, I just did one of those little Google things, and my God, there are a lot of jet ski wrecks.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people get hurt. Few people get killed, but a lot of people get really hurt bad on those things.
It's almost probably worse than tubing. Skiing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Good gracious. We'll talk about it like I did this morning till I'm blue in the face about school bus safety. We talk about this other thing too until I get blue in the face. We talk about it every year. Other media, lifeguards, public safety personnel, emergency medical teams, and even medical examiners can tell you about all the stuff that happens. Lifeguards tell you people just don't listen. In New Hampshire, at what is described as a popular beach location, another teenager caught up in a rip current. He's dead. He had been swimming with his family. His 61-year-old dad had to be rescued when he tried to save his 17-year-old son, nearly drowned himself. A story that's repeated time and again and again and again, year after year. I could write these stories in advance.
Yes.
And they're all going to be so much alike. It's great that high schools in Kingsport, Tennessee, hundreds of miles from the nearest ocean, require kids to be able to swim before they can graduate. That's great. Wish all coastal schools would do the same thing. In rips, not even the strongest swimmers can make headway. They can't get ahead of a rip. It doesn't happen. Yes, their cause of death is listed as drowning. The contributing factor should be included on the death certificates. It's called panic. When second graders here in Onslow County are offered free swimming lessons once the YMCA pool is opened, an extra part of those lessons should be controlling your panic. As you learn to swim, there should be a separate class. It should be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Rip currents, you should know how to spot them. What to do when you're caught in one. You get to live to see another day if you know what to do. Not to scare them, not to scare the little kids to keep them from ever wanting to swim, because they're going to get in the water sooner or later. And it's best that two things happen. One, they know how to swim. And two, they know what to do instead of panicking whenever a situation develops, whether it's a rip current or whatever happens. Suppose you fall out of a boat. Suppose you fall off a dock and the water's over your head. It's over a lot of kids' head, these little boat docks here and there. Don't panic. No need to panic. If you can swim, you're way, way ahead of the ball game. Just stay afloat until you can get into a situation where you're under control, where even if you're still moving with the current, just keep your head above water as long as you're breathing. The first thing, the smartest instructor that I've ever witnessed, and he was one that taught Robbie to dive for scuba. He said, all you got to do is keep breathing in the water. You've got the gear. No need to panic. As long as you just breathe.
Breathe.
Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. You're done. No problem. Quit panicking. It's easy for some of us to say, and it comes with experience. But and there again, parents, when these classes are offered at the Y, don't stop there. Take your kids to pools. You supervise them. Take them, put them in the water as much as possible. Let them swim as often as possible. If you don't do it, you're going to lose it.
Well, we've discussed this before, and I think it might have been that Robbie was the one that taught my daughter to swim, because when my daughter was first thing I did was we had a swimming pool an in-ground swimming pool put on our property. But before it was even the first shovel dug, I took her straight and got her swim lessons, and we went to the place on Doors Avenue Extension.
That was it,
Yeah.
Yes, and you were saying that's where Robbie taught, but
Well,
look.
no, she didn't teach there. She taught at her home on
Oh,
Doris
okay.
Avenue, Doris and Henderson.
Oh, I see. By the second lesson, that child was just jumping into the deep end, and I was like,
Oh,
Panic.
panic, mama time, panic,
yes,
mama.
but yeah,
But once they overcome their fear,
right.
and then they get to not fear the water, they get to embrace the water.
Mhm.
Yes.
I thought there's nothing greater than being in the water and just gliding through it. You ever been in a panic situation in the water?
When something scraped my leg, yes. I was walking on water then. Out.
No, I wasn't. But I was careful because Dad taught the five of us. We learned at Montfort Point swimming pool
Okay.
Yeah.
how to swim, and
swam there,
then the
too.
beach.
Mhm.
But we also were taught when and when not to swim, and you don't go out at nighttime.
No.
no.
Oh, no.
I mean, you may think you're good. You don't go out at
Steaming time.
nighttime.
Early in the morning
sorry.
either.
You shouldn't.
You don't go swimming at that time of day because, first of all, things that are, especially in the ocean, there are things that there are just,
Mm-hmm.
they like to feed late evening during dark hours. They don't have any problem. And they don't see very well anyway. And whatever they bump, they bite. Sharks.
Yes.
Talking about.
Yes.
But there are other critters out there too. It's more than just sharks.
Those other critters. I was fine. We used to go out there as kids. I mean, we'd sit on our boards way out there and just sit there all day long with their legs dangling in the water.
Well, looking just like seals.
Until Jaws came out. And the Jaws movie ruined everything for me. Even though we know it was just a movie, ruined it for me.
I'll never forget when Jaws came out. I went to see it on a Friday night, right after it came out. Right, that was great. Yeah, okay, this is interesting. And I was going diving the next day, and then I was going down to Fort Lauderdale after that for a week of diving, a vacation. So my cousin and I, my dive buddy and I, we were out just off of Onslow Beach, the base side, military side, probably a mile and a half out there. There's a bunch of rocks out there.
Yeah.
So we would dive on those, and they had little crevices and things in them. Great place to stick flounders and that kind of stuff. And that's what we like to do. I didn't take a lot of pictures back then. Took some, but not that many. But anyway, we were going along. I just seen Jaws the night before, and then I come around, and there's a little crevice there, and you had to go around a little outcropping of rock, and there's a nurse shark lying on the bottom in the crevice, which they do, and they don't bug you, and I recognized it instantly. But I mean, there was a pucker factor built into my movements at that point in time, and I okay, good golly. I sucked up an extra 300 pounds of air in 2 breaths.
Well, there's so much more fun to do in the sand dunes at night. Yeah.
Chris,
I mean, get rid of the those no-see-ums and stuff.
No, looking for shells.
you only do it one time. You learn real quick that being in the sand dunes at night, you get a lot of sand. And you can't
and
actually
what?
see where you're stepping. And those little grassy weed things are sharp. Why would you hunt for shells in the dunes, Chris?
It's fun.
Her name was Dune.
We're in
A wee bit cooler this morning.
Sorry.
It is.
we be swimming.
High pressure is expected to dominate the weather for much of the remainder of this work week offshore, out to 20 nautical miles today. Northerly winds around 10 knots, becoming northeasterly this afternoon. Seas 2 to 3 feet, 13 seconds apart. Long ways apart, not big waves.
Nice.
Sounds and rivers a light chop. Tomorrow, northerly winds 10 to 15 again, becoming northeasterly 5 to 10 in the afternoon. Seas 2 to 3 feet, with a big difference. Those waves, though small, will be 4 seconds apart. They're going to go from 13 seconds apart today. They're going to be real close together tomorrow.
What's going on?
Making for a bumpy ride, I can tell you that. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop, diminishing to a light chop in the afternoon. And then along comes Thursday. Easterly winds 5 to 10, seas 2 to 3. Sounds and rivers a light chop. The Aaron is gone. Most of the impact, the effects of Aaron, the leftovers have been consumed. They're gone, one and done. And we'll talk to you about some of the other stuff that's happening out there or not.
Okay, that sounds exciting. Today, mostly sunny with a high near 86, north wind around 6 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 63. I love that. Wednesday, sunny with a high near 84. Thursday, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, partly sunny with a high near 83.
You know,
And I had no rain the last 24 hours,
Yeah.
nothing.
Randy out there at Southwest, one of the Ham Club guys from the Onslow Amateur Radio Club. You'll be able to check in about a week or so, 2 weeks. You'll be checking in the mornings, won't you, with the temperature? 68 degrees in the Southwest this morning. He had no rain. Joe at the Burrow, he had a beautiful red sky coming up this morning. Red sky in the morning. Saturday morning.
Yes.
Watch out. No, it should be okay. A light breeze. He had 71 degrees and 0.06 inches of rain. That was last evening around supper time, he said. Dale over there at River Bend had 67 degrees and no rain. And the studio this morning at that time, 90% humidity, 68 degrees and no rain. It's, oh my goodness, temperature has dropped to 66 degrees and
It has
91%
dropped.
humidity.
Wow.
Cool.
Wow.
Open the windows and the doors.
I like listening to Joe in the morning.
Oh, Joe's cool.
I
Yeah.
like Joe.
He really gets into it.
He's my favorite.
Okay, that system that came across the Windward Islands yesterday,
Yes.
there was a wave came across out of Africa across the Cape Verde Islands and moved to westward, and the spaghetti models, those fans of the spaghetti westerns and the spaghetti models had it going everywhere, slamming Miami and coming up and destroying Texas and doing whatever they said it was going to do. Well, it got across into the Caribbean, and as the National Hurricane Center said, dropped its rain and disappeared. Okay. Fernand, got up to 60 mile per hour winds last night for a while.
Oh.
But as of 5 o'clock this morning, winds had dropped 45 miles per hour. It's on a northeasterly mission, and it's headed yonder, out way gone. It's moving fast, 14 miles per hour, and it's headed toward the northeast. There is nothing in its path.
I don't know.
Dr. Murphy?
Nope.
No, anyway.
Good morning. You're live and local.
Hey, Ray for Brem. This is Alex with Congressman Greg Murphy. Just want to make sure that you are ready for him this morning.
I am ready for him.
Bring
Alex, I
him
appreciate
on.
it. You want to sit in for him for a while?
No, I do not.
We got questions for you if you'd like to.
Who's this?
Alex.
Alex?
Yeah. Hey, Alex.
Alex, I think
Hey,
this
good
question.
morning, guys.
This
He's
Chris-
going to call in here shortly. Just want to
Okay.
make sure.
Okay, you
Okay.
fooled us with that number.
Well,
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks,
Bye.
Alex.
so
Alex
speaking
schedules
of,
it.
I'm sorry. Speaking of our number 910-333-0139, because we got Congressman Murphy
Yes.
coming on, and then
Got
we
all that
have
pinned up there. Yep. Dude.
Robin Knapp and Tim Foster,
Right.
Yes.
or
Yes.
vice versa.
We
Yep.
can't take calls during Dr. Murphy. So if you got something you want us to ask him right now, you got
Send it.
4 minutes.
Yeah.
Call us and we'll ask
I
it.
pinned all that up this morning for
So
those
just
that
you can do
read.
that. And if
Hey,
you've got
Thanks, Chris.
something for the commissioners. So we've got scheduled. We have Chairman Tim Foster and Vice Chairman Robin Knapp going to be joining us in here this morning. The doors will be locked. They cannot get out.
Wow, you sound serious.
Absolutely.
Let me get my gavel.
Well, two things. On a good note, yesterday I got to play golf when it was 92 degrees. Oh, it was so beautiful out there.
You glisten.
Hush your mouth.
So I played with one of our listeners,
Who's that?
Bill Laughinghouse.
Hi, Bill.
Bill, and
Very nice. You guys could have called me. I would have come out.
It,
Did do
My
what?
golf clubs.
well, we ended up playing. We played with
Have
a
a
young
first aid kit.
man actually from Jacksonville. Went to Southwest in the Army, MP. He's been in 10 years, and he's gonna finish 10. He goes, "Why not? I'll retire at 39 and get to go on and start a new career."
Absolutely.
You know,
I've known a lot of people to do that.
And
Oh.
people do that all the time.
yeah, it was. So that was a lot of
He
fun.
could retire again.
Yeah. On the sad note, though, today because of the doctor thing and stuff, I have to go to Hampstead this
God bless
morning.
you.
You have to go to where?
Hampstead. You
You
know,
better leave yesterday.
I have to go through there tomorrow.
sorry.
Oh.
Unless I change my
I
mind.
got it this week. I got
I
it
knew he was
next
going
week.
to say that.
I got to go next week.
Well, I have a lunch date at 12 noon at Carrabba's. The high school girls, we meet once a month.
Well, you better leave.
Is that right?
I could just go
About
spend the night at my
7 o'clock,
daughter's.
in the morning.
My granddaughter will be on her way tomorrow to Washington, D.C. with her dad to get her visa for Greece. So
Yeah.
I'm calling ahead and telling them not to do
There'll
it.
be a lot of
I
protection
got
up
mine
there for
from
her.
Wells Fargo. I'm not sure where you get it.
Well, I just think it's crazy that you have to go all the way to D.C. You can't do it through
Well, but
an
she's
office here.
very well protected up there now.
Well, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. Did you see how much the crime rate has dropped? And what was it over the weekend? They didn't have one murder, and it's the first time in how many years?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
cleaning it up.
I see the Chicago mayor now is saying they don't need
Oh
they don't
yeah,
want 'em.
throwing a
It's-
little
it's just-
hissy fit.
Here's what I find interesting. All the
Population control in Chicago.
Yeah.
I understand.
all the cities that the president is sending in troops to help with crime, have all of a sudden they're all saying, but our crime rates have gone down.
And yep. They don't need them anymore until
Well,
they go away.
I certainly hope that this pays off. I mean, I think it's wonderful. I think it's crazy that we have to go to this extent.
Well,
to clean up the streets?
I do not think it's crazy that we have to do this. I think it's absolutely wonderful. It's better than sitting out there training and doing
Oh yeah,
nothing.
for
sitting
sure.
at some base somewhere out there, just having to march and clean up the field and do this and do that. Put them out there doing something useful.
But what I mean is, it's crazy that we have to
I
do
know,
it because we've allowed it over all the years to get this way.
We've allowed it because we haven't stopped it.
That's right.
No.
And we haven't stopped it, but we haven't stopped it at the political level, not at the enforcement level. When the
Right.
politicians start interfering with the enforcement, there is the problem, whether it's enforcement or judicial or whatever. But when politicians start doing, thinking they know more because, we're elected by the people. Well, guess what? The people don't know that much either.
Well, it's 4:30 out in California. I wonder if Gavin Newsom's listening.
We could call him. Hey, did you hear the news last night? Breaking news last night. Trump fired Lisa Cook, who is one of the 12 members of the Board of Governors for the Federal Reserve.
Whoops.
And guess what he fired her based on?
She could-
Criminal misconduct. Guess what it was?
Extra dollars.
She bought a house in Michigan and put on and said for the mortgage agreement that was her primary residence.
Oh, God.
Then she turned around and bought one in Georgia and said that house would be her primary residence. And you have to
Strike one, strike
understand,
two, and that's out.
you have to understand that if you own a house here and you go buy another house over here, your mortgage rate is going to be more.
Yeah.
So by claiming that the second house was her primary,
It's called fraud.
it's called fraud. And what does the Federal Reserve do?
Yeah, you can't control that
It
stuff.
controls your mortgage,
Yeah.
the rate, the federal rate. It's Dr. Murphy. So, hello there.
Yeah,
Just
you
make
know,
them-
Hey guys, good morning.
Good morning.
I've got this little pain, and it's most of it's originating in Washington, D.C. Can you help me out, Doc?
We were just talking about Lisa
in
Cook.
Oh God.
That was a and then, Dr. Greg Murphy, our 3rd District Representative. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, I'm well, guys. I'm well. You know, I won't even go into it with Lisa. So, hey, how are y'all doing?
We're hanging in here. Weather's gorgeous, 6 degrees right now in Jacksonville. So, and the sun's shining,
That's
and
awesome.
and we don't have a hurricane.
We're knock on wood, knock, knock, knock.
I did.
We got lucky.
Yes, we
And,
did.
you know, our district still has the Outer Banks and everything. And Buxton, you know, a lot of the Outer Banks just stick out there. They just stick out there and say, hey, come and get me. And it's a more metabolically active area, if I can use that term, as far as beach erosion and stuff. And
It is.
fortunately, none of the houses went in the water, but a bunch more were deemed uninhabitable. So,
You know, we did get lucky. And you know what? I got to give kudos to the experts there at the National Hurricane Center, not for keeping the storm away because they got nothing to do with that, but for putting out one of the most accurate forecasts
They did a great
from the
job.
day I started following before it was a hurricane, Aaron. As it came off the coast of Africa, it was not very long, even as a depression, that they almost pinpointed exactly where that sucker was going to go. They had the weather patterns to the west down pat. They knew what was going on. This was one of the most precise long-range forecasts that I've ever seen. And I've been following hurricanes for a long time.
You know, that's a hard job. That's a hard job. I went and toured the weather facility out in Newport.
Uh-huh.
You know, other than sticking your finger up in the air, which is what they did, you know, in the 40s, essentially put up clouds and put up balloons. You know, they did the best they can, and they're getting better and better.
They are.
Sometimes they're right. Most of the time they're right. Sometimes they're not. So it's a good instance where they were, and kudos to them for doing it.
Yeah, well, no. Hurricane Center down there in Miami, I got to take a trip down there and tour it. I've talked to the guys a few times, but and I get to talk to them on my ham radio too because they're active during any storms. So it's interesting. I've got to get down there and tour that place. It's got to be.
You know, one
major
job
place.
that breaking women may be nice to do that, but one job I sure as hell I'm never going to do is ride in one of those planes into the middle of the hurricane.
No,
We talked about that.
But hell no.
no.
Okay.
I've been offered that, and I said no.
Dr. Murphy, you just stole my thunder because I have wished and wished and wished to be able to fly with one of those Hurricane Hunters just to get to the center.
I'll just watch
So
the live video.
Just
Thank
wait
you.
for the center
I'll
to
wait
come
till
to
the
you.
center comes.
Okay.
The Doc and I are on the same page. I can tell you right now, we're the same
I'm right
page.
there with you, Rayford. It's beautiful to look at on TV, but
I mean, you know, when I was television news director, I got the opportunity. They offered it to me many times to take that ride, and I said, you know what? I know.
But remember, I want to go with the all-female crew. Just saying.
from dunes
How high?
to
No, I'm not going to pay you
Started with
5,200.
I'm not even going to go there.
Sorry, Dr. Murphy.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying not
thank
to.
you.
5,280 feet.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow. So, Dr. Murphy, does it feel safe in DC yet?
You know, it's very interesting. You know, a couple of years ago, my wife was having lunch with a friend of hers, middle of the day, eating in a corner restaurant, and literally across the street. And I don't mean across the boulevard. I mean across the street. Car stops. Bum, 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 bum. Two guys shot dead. Car drives on.
Oh, no.
We sadly enough had an intern, Ron Estes, a member from Kansas, good fellow, is on Ways and Means with me, had an intern about, 6-8 weeks ago that was killed. Random shooting, drive-by.
Yep.
There are carjackings. 2 members of Congress have been carjacked, one
Yes.
beaten up in an elevator. So to say there's no crime is a lie. And it's also, that, you know, they're at the point where they're defending crime. They did this with the defund the police, and now defending crime. BS. What do people want in this country? I don't care who you are, what you look like. You want to be safe. You want security, and and that's one of the jobs of government. And if it's not delivering it, then by God, a higher authority needs to. And I'm absolutely 100% fine with it.
So am
And
I.
you look at what's going on in Chicago and Baltimore. I don't know the statistics, but I think in Chicago there's normally about 25 shootings each weekend.
At least.
And take away the guns. Give me a break. The criminals are going to find a way to get guns.
Exactly.
You don't take them away from the people who are law-abiding citizens that want to protect themselves. So
Well,
I'm okay with it. I'm absolutely okay with it.
First of all, I'm pretty familiar with the guns and the guns rights people, and also the people that want to take the guns away. They'll never take the guns away in this country, not in our lifetime. But they want to have more regulations. My God, what criminal ever abided by any law? They are called lawbreakers for a reason. I wish I could find it. I'm going to study it, start searching for it again. There was a study done. A very liberal group of people started going into prisons. They had permission to do so and interviewed bad guys, criminals, crooks, lawbreakers. And one of the questions they asked, would you like to see stronger gun control laws? Yes, we would. Well, you wouldn't be able to get guns. Oh, no, we get guns, but we won't be safer when the people that we break into their homes don't have guns. We're going to have guns.
Absolutely.
And they were just amazed, shocked, and surprised that these crooks were saying that.
Yeah.
What idiots.
Well, you wish you could just live in a society where people did the right thing, boom, boom, boom. But if you look at, even further, you look at what's happening with demographics today, the lack of a father in household, which contributes to 90% of the people who are in prison these days.
Yep.
These young kids have children with no expectation of having to pay for them, raise them. And then what do the kids grow up into? They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what a father figure and a man looks like. And it's usually a male, obviously, with a gun. And so we've created this, and we allow this to happen. And if you call it out, you're every name in the book, a misogynist, a racist, or whatever, this, that, and the other stuff, a bigot. Bull. Facts are facts are facts. And so we correct that problem, I don't see any hope for it.
I don't know how you correct it. I really don't know.
It has to come from within the communities.
Yeah, if we would keep the people
in the communities.
Yeah, if we would keep the people in jail that are in jail in prison for the length of time that they're supposed to be there, that would be one thing. That old joke about the kid going with his daddy to the post office to get the mail. He says, "Daddy, what are these people up here on the wall? What have they done?" He said, "Son, they're wanted by the police. They've been bad people." He said, "Why didn't they keep them when they took the picture?" Duh. Duh.
Yeah. Yeah, now it's common sense. And Trump took away what they call cashless bail.
Yeah.
In other words, you do a violent crime, you get put out on bail, you don't have to put anything up.
Yes.
So no one's going to go after you if you don't show up. So, I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's unconscionable. These people I really believe there's a certain section of that demographic of the liberal party that wants chaos. They just want chaos. And so, this is a good way to have it. So, but anyway, thank God, we got a president doing something about it.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
All right, we got that. He's catching a lot of grief about all sorts of things.
Yeah. Well, he can blow his nose and he's going to catch grief. I mean, these guys literally, it's what they wake up with every morning. Kind of like the trolls on my social media page.
And you do have some.
I don't look at it very often. Every once in a while, I'll glance at it and I'll go, "Hold it! Wasn't that the same name that was there like 4 days ago?" And anyway, it's just kind of funny. I think it gives him a reason to live.
I can tell you that the congressman can post, "It's a beautiful day in Washington, D.C." And he's got a dozen trolls already counteracting that or saying something mean. I'm like,
would that be Austin Ayers?
Yeah. Now we got we got a president
That's a mentally unstable individual right there.
Well,
I was just going to ask you.
and I did want to bring that up because I read where he made a post that says, with Murphy's latest anti-America first approach, I feel like this district needs a young, hardened patriot in office. What's your response on that?
I think you
So,
just gave
let me
it.
just say something without saying something, guys.
Okay.
I'm just going to say this once. I don't respond to mentally unstable
Okay.
people, accusations, which have no basis in fact whatsoever. And I'm not going to play that game. We've had some people who are mentally unstable run for office, and I'm not going to play that game. And so I'm just going to put it. I'm just going to drop it. I'm not saying anything more about it. But mental instability is a challenge, and I'll just leave it at that. I'm just going to leave it at that.
It's also a sign of a potentially very dangerous individual, or the people that follow him who are more unstable, that he is leading the chart. There's where the problem lies, not just with the nut jobs, the mentally unstable that are out there, but the people that are behind the scenes, behind them, following them, because they got nothing to lose. They're scary. We don't know who they are.
I've had threats. I've had death threats. We got some people that continue to understand that, elections have consequences. Mentally unstable people and threats.
Yeah.
But I keep living my life and always stay wary. But
God bless you.
I'm honored to serve. Let's just put it that way. Next topic.
When did Epstein die?
Next topic.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
He didn't sign the death certificate.
Well, how long ago? How long has it been?
It was probably 5 years ago.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, about 2020, 2019. So we got pictures surfacing with the president and other people, and Bill Clinton, and all sorts of folks with Jeffrey Epstein. And we got Robert F. Kennedy Jr., which I thought was precious. I read what he had written about it, because his wife at the time, his late wife, was friends with Gazelle, and they took him for a fossil trip or something in North Dakota on his airplane. Really? Why are we picking this dude up? He's dead.
Well, and here's the thing. A lot of the folks are screaming, "Release the file! Release the files!" Well, what's her name? Gazelle. How do you say her last name?
I think it was Gazelle. Maxwell House
She
Coffee.
has said herself, and she's in prison for collaborating with him. She has said herself that she has no risk. And then she's also said very plainly, she says, "I'm not receiving anything from this." That Donald Trump was nothing but a gentleman, had anything to do with this. And why would she say anything otherwise? So here's the problem that I don't think some people realize, that there may be names in books or something like this that were casual acquaintances. And as horrible as social media is these days,
Yes, sir.
if you release those names, they are presumed guilty,
Of course.
by the court of social media for no reasons whatsoever, and lives will be ruined.
Yep.
And, the Democrats are only doing this. They had 4 years, if there was anything on Trump, to release stuff, and they didn't. And the Democrats are only doing it now because they have nothing else. They have nothing else to offer the American people except crime and chaos.
If you look through the legal papers here in Onslow County way back when, you'll find that I was associated with a number of hookers, as I arrested them.
So,
Congressman.
Congressman,
But if you look at things like that, I mean, good God. Duh.
I do have a question for you, Congressman, too.
Yeah, go ahead.
One, Congressman. So I know recently you got to go to a lot of the areas with Don Davis. So how do those work out when you two are together and you're at these town meetings and stuff? I mean, is it pretty calm, civil?
Don is. I'd rather. Let's put it this way: there's certain degrees of liberals
Right.
who are, downright crazy. We have a couple of them in our delegation.
Hmm.
I've worked with Don since the General Assembly days. We've changed districts back and forth. We're very cordial to one another. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Good.
I got called for a county commissioner meeting in Greenville the other day.
Ooh.
Oh.
And it was all the county commissioners for the entire state. And they asked us to come speak. And they asked Don Davis to come. They asked Tim Reeder and the other rep from Pitt County. So we're on this panel together. I mean, I can't. I'm not going to not turn down things.
No.
I'm not going to turn down things just because he shows up. And so we get along fine.
Yeah.
So we just disagree politically.
Do you ever get time off? Seriously, and I mean this from
And when he's operating on people.
Yeah, I did that the other day. So let's just put it this way, guys. My certain people are built certain ways. I'm not built. I can't sit and rest. It's just not in my DNA. And so I pretty much work every day. So
I love it.
Trump is very similar. Not that I'm comparing himself to him. Somebody asked him, "Why don't you take a vacation?" He goes, "I enjoy working. I enjoy working."
I see that.
Look,
Yes.
I see patients. I saw them, I think, close to 30 days last year.
Wow.
Why do I do it? I do it because I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's important work, and I do it because I think it helps me make healthcare decisions. But I can't get paid for it. I have to do it for free.
Wow.
So I enjoy the work. I enjoy being a doctor and using those experiences to help healthcare policy for the country. So, I mean, I'm blessed. I'm not complaining. Believe me, I'm not complaining. And we do take some vacations and stuff, travel. I just did a work travel. The speaker appointed me to something called the Helsinki Commission, which is really a big deal. It's the members of Congress that interplay directly with legislatures, primarily in Western Europe, but in some other places. But I'm also on the trade subcommittee for Ways and Means. And I had some overseas trips, just got back about a week ago, dealing with Western European countries face-to-face, also dealing with trade in Africa. And so there are some things that are, enjoyable. But again, I just, I like to work. So
That's a lot of time in the air. Wow. God bless you.
Trump is blasting the Senate right now. It seems like there's something called the blue slip deal, a tradition that if a senator happens to be from the opposite party as the president who is just nominated, and even if the Senate has approved it, or for the most part has approved his nomination for a federal judgeship or whatever, a senator from that state, a senator, one person can hold it up. What antiquated event is this? And why is one person interfere with our judicial system, with our way of life, with our tax dollars, the way one senator can do this? This is something wrong. I agree with Trump on this one.
It's asinine. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. Here we are, and this is what Schumer's trying to do. What a horrible, nasty person. Just a horrible, nasty person.
Throw Adam Schick in there, too.
He's literally trying to hold everything up. And so, that's what I can just give you a million reasons why I didn't want to run for Senate. But I think that's a ridiculous system. A big reason of which is I asked Mrs. Murphy, and she goes, "No."
Okay, Wendy.
Are you kidding? Have you lost your ever-loving mind, honey?
And it's so funny. And I said, "Well, would you consider it?" And she goes, "No." And I said, "Well,
That's two.
Would you think about it? Would you think about it?" And she goes, "No."
That's three. How many more times do I have to say it?
There should have been another.
So I still did a little bit of background work and this, that, and the other stuff. And, I'm 62 now. You run for 2 years against Cooper. You win at 64, and then it takes you at least 2 terms to do anything.
Yep.
Good Lord, that puts me at 76, and I did not want to die in Washington, D.C.
Oh, we want you back home.
Yeah.
Let me die back home.
Take me home, country roads. Well, I'm glad what you're doing. I'm concerned about the replacement for our senator. I like Tom Tillis. I've known him for a long, long time.
Yes.
I think he's gotten a rough road and a bad rap for wanting to try to get stuff done and having to elicit assistance from both sides of the aisle to get common sense legislation taken care of. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, thoughts on the
Well,
race.
you have to get 60 votes in the Senate.
Yep.
We don't have 60 Republicans. And let me tell for all the people who, Tom and I disagreed plenty of times.
So do I.
But let me tell for those who just want to hate on him so much, Tom probably single-handedly, when Pelosi was pushing through her H.R. 1, her highest priority was to redo federal elections, okay? Basically, we would never have a fair election in this country again if that legislation had passed. So it passed in the House, of course, because they had control. It got over to the Senate. Tom, knowing that it was either, what's her name, Kirsten Sinema, or the guy from West Virginia,
Joe.
I'm on his name now.
Manchin. Yeah, Manchin.
But could either of those could have flipped and said, yeah, we're going to get rid of the filibuster, and that legislation would have passed.
Mm.
Tom worked his butt off behind the scenes to get them not to flip. So we can have all the people screaming about Tom, and believe me, I screamed at him plenty of times. I just did it a few days ago. But he single-handedly prevented us from doing that. So just so people, before they continue their hate shower, understand you have to do some things behind the scenes to further a goal long term. So if you don't, you just lose. And we have these people that just scream, don't ever work with the other side.
Right.
Sorry, guys, that's how you get things done. And if you want to just sit in your corner and cave and scream, don't do it near me.
Exactly. And Republicans can be their own worst enemies because if you do something with the other side, you're labeled as a rhino. And we've had people in this state personally go after Tillis because of some of the decisions that he made. But I think it's going to come back to haunt them. And Congressman, what do you think about the upcoming race for Senate?
Let me just say, first of all, ignorance is out of two things. One is lack of competence and lack of ability, and two, it's volitionally having no curiosity. In other words, some people can't handle intelligence. They can't handle the facts. It's not their fault. It's a lot of knowledge. But the problem is, if you're not curious enough to find out the true facts, not some of these crazy websites, good Lord, and we got plenty of them. If you're not curious enough to find the truth, shame on you. Shame on you. Upcoming race, it's going to be an uphill battle for Michael Watley. He doesn't have name recognition.
Right.
He's going to be at a fundraising disadvantage to Cooper.
Yeah.
Cooper is about as milk toast and behind the scenes conniving as it gets. I don't want to attack him personally. It's just not my style, but I don't know how smart he is. And so he did a lot of things that were absolutely incompetent when he was governor of the state. And so I wish Michael the best. I will work very, very hard for him.
I was absolutely surprised that Roy Cooper had a law degree, that he served as our attorney general for 2 terms. I'm like, who is this dude? I reached out to him at that time for some stuff. I got lip service as the attorney general, me as a citizen, as a voter, as a North Carolinian. And I reached out to him with some stuff, and all I got was a form letter.
Rayford, he made history as our governor. He most vetoes ever.
Bless his heart.
Let me just let Congressman know this. The highest respect to Ray Celeste on your staff.
Great.
Love the man. He's been very helpful with my wife and I. Wreaths Across America. And I just Rayford reminded me to ask about this. I sent a challenge out. I don't know if the president listens to our show or not, but I had sent a message out to a golf challenge. And I used a phrase. Rayford said I was going to have visitors.
This is a challenge.
You can't say beat the president.
So he's challenged the president to a game.
to a golf match to help raise wreaths across America, wreaths. And I just said the president can use his bag full of golf clubs, and I'm going to use just one golf club. And I made the mistake of using the phrase, I'm going to beat him with one club.
Well, we
Yeah,
can't.
that was probably not smart.
Thank you, I'm glad I didn't.
He didn't put it in writing. It's not in writing.
I was going to defeat the president in a little challenge.
Well, yeah, well, Trump would probably take you up on it if he had the time.
Yes, sir.
But, they have there are a lot of word searches that go on, and there are a lot of people that say nasty things about the president.
Yep.
And if you have a little knock on your door, don't be surprised.
I think that was a woman recently in Florida that made threats against him, and
No, I love the president. I would never do that.
FBI came knocking on her door.
Yeah,
So
I got some good friends in Secret Service, so maybe
No,
I could help you out.
Look, let me just tell you, my social media, everything that we do gets monitored.
Mhm.
And for people that make threats towards me, they get little knocks on their door.
Oh, good.
I would never do that.
Excellent.
Awesome to know that.
I have the
Yeah.
utmost respect for you, Congressman.
And
Well,
Congressman,
I'm honored to serve.
Chris brought up one of your staff. I just want to say congratulations to Cody Brown, that
Mhm.
worked at the Jacksonville office. He has now moved up to a position in DC. He called me a couple of weeks ago to tell me about it. I was so happy for
He's
him.
moved up and has had to go to DC.
He's in DC
Well, it's
now.
not like a move up to
Congressman,
me.
what's his actual title again?
He is working with something called the Veterans History Project.
Right.
Okay,
And
that'd be good.
we actually were one of the, and it's all due to Cody. We're actually one of the top districts in the country to interview veterans and have them come and tell their story and have that be cataloged in the Library of Congress. It's really, really a super thing.
Really?
But Cody did such a great job. We were one of the top districts in the country of getting our
Good.
veterans to come in and
Right.
tell their story.
Oh, good. All right.
Excellent.
Well, he's got a great last name, so.
Well, the thing about it is, he got his start in Congressman Murphy's office. So
Yeah.
look, he must have had some great mentoring.
All right.
Well, he was a good young man.
Yes.
And is still a good young man. We
Yes,
have a
he
great,
is.
if I can use the word diaspora, of folks who've worked in the office that have gone on to do great things.
Yes.
And every single one of them is great. So
Well, I like Alex. He takes care of me.
Yeah.
Alex is a great young man.
Yep.
Yep.
He's a traveler. He loves to travel. He and I love to talk about travel.
Does he dive?
If we ever have a recess week, hell, he's already off in Budapest or somewhere. I'm like, where do you go?
Wow.
What in the world?
Wow.
That's great. He does a great job.
If he likes diving, scuba diving, I've got some places we'll go.
Well, cool. Cool.
I don't know what
I can't do that stuff. My ears don't like it.
Well, you can stay on the surface with my wife, and she snorkels.
Look, he's
No
had
pressure there.
brain surgery. He does not need to be doing that.
Well,
No, just a thought.
I can tell you, the people in Eastern North Carolina, especially in Onslow County, we appreciate your service.
Yes,
Thank you so
we do.
much.
Thank you.
well, you're honored to do it, guys. I appreciate it. We're not going to agree on every time. I sometimes am in rooms that people are not. I hear things that they're not. I read things that people don't read. And most of the time, I think I made the right decision. Every once in a while, I wish I had a do-over. But I'm human, and so just keep doing the good job as long as they're good for let me in. That's what's going to happen. So,
Sounds good. I do appreciate your monthly calls and check-ins
Yes.
and the
Thank
updates
you.
and stuff.
Yes.
It's
And the
good
news-
for the people here to be able to feel like they're actually talking to you.
And the newsletters too.
Because-
Yes.
Yeah, and the newsletters, I'm religiously following those. So
Right.
you're
Right.
good
yeah,
doing
guys,
that way.
if you just for listeners, if you want a newsletter, Alex does a great job of that.
Uh-huh.
And I have a new staff, Kellen. Kellen is his press assistant. Kellen's just come on the staff. Great.
Okay.
But if you go on the website, murphy.house.gov, and it'll have a little signal there, sign up for the newsletter. People will do that. It's
Yep.
great. I think it's a good way to communicate. So,
I've been on this since day one. So
Before we let him go, I just want to mention this. Just the first few minutes of when Congressman Dr. Murphy called.
Uh-huh.
So down home.
Oh, it is.
I mean, we're joking and
Wow.
enjoying the day. but then still talking about the things that are important.
Doctor,
That's very
Doctor,
important.
you have not been in a studio, radio, TV, or otherwise. It's got a futon and a dog over here on the one side, out of camera range, and a dog sitting on it. Okay, that's what we have here.
Yes.
That's great. That's great. I love animals.
Oh, well, yeah, me too. Okay, Doctor, I know you got to go. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
your
much
time.
for spending time with
God bless.
us.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
take
so
care.
much. Have a
Take
blessed
care.
day.
Keep them straight. You got problems, call.
You know, just real quick.
And it is. I want to congratulate him for that too.
Yes.
It is down home. It is. It's not homey.
No,
It's not a negative way. It is. Right. We can have a conversation.
But you know, I've always known him to be that way. I
Mhm.
mean, I met him back the day right after Congressman Jones passed away, and Congressman Murphy jumped into the affray. There was like 16, 17 people, and that's when I met Greg, and he's always been like
Well,
that.
I talked to him first time I met him. I talked to him on the phone
Right.
before, and doing an interview, radio interviews, about 2 or 3 times, and he was running.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was this event at Morehead City, and I was doing a live remote there
Right.
on the waterfront. It was whatever event it was, a boat show or something. Well, maybe it was a boat show and
Right.
waterfront seafood festival. I don't know what it was, but I was there. Dee Dee was there,
Mhm.
and we were set up out there. And he said he was going the week before when I was talking to him. He says, I think I'm gonna come by to that event too. Well, in one ear and out the other for me. And then all of a sudden, he comes walking up. I had not even seen his picture at that time. And I'm
know
like,
who it was.
this gentleman is coming approaching me. Thank God Dee Dee knew who he was.
Well, you
Immediately,
know-
but I didn't know the name. But
I
I
worked
did not
on
know
his
his face.
very first campaign, and remember they had a runoff.
Uh-huh. Oh,
And
yeah.
I went out every morning to the Board of Elections and set up a tent and took it down every night. And I worked every single day of that, minus the day we had the hurricane, well, supposed hurricane. And I worked on many of his campaigns since then. And he is just as down home, and his staff is too, as what you just heard on the phone. So.
Well,
he didn't mention though whether or not he was going to talk to the president about my golf challenge.
he didn't take that with for
I don't think you really understood.
he was concerned about going over there to whoop up on the president.
I'm not going to whip up on the
I know.
president. I just want to challenge
You
him.
know.
Oh, golf match.
You armed
know.
with a club? Oh, that's just not going to
He'll
go
have
over
a bag full of clothes.
Yeah, but what, he's not a threatening type of individual, and he's older than you are. You'd be taking advantage of a senior citizen.
I'll let him play from the senior tees. I'll play from the tips. How much more advantage could I give the guy?
Oh my God, we got 2 guys in here saying, "I think we're going to leave now."
Well, not yet.
They're afraid.
No, I'm not going to leave.
Not
quite
you,
yet.
them.
Oh, them.
They're afraid. They are afraid of the challenge. Gentlemen,
What's up?
is that a key or is that a blade you got stuck in your belt there? Just checking.
Wait.
A blade. Chairman Foster, how are you?
Good morning. How are you,
I'm
sir?
doing fine. Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, what you been doing? Get anything good?
Oh, trying to get athletics started in the school system. And,
Trying to.
yeah, and we were successful. It
Well, I was
started.
going to say the first Friday night football season went my way.
Yes,
For
yes.
Jacksonville.
Our way.
Didn't go Tim's.
No, the Stallions lost, but the Cardinals won.
I've got you in here to chastise you about that today.
The Stallions.
About your performance Friday night.
Yeah, not too. The defense looked good. Offensively, offense is usually a few weeks behind.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean-
4 in a row for the Wildcats against the Stallions.
Not that you're counting.
Not that we're counting.
Somebody called in yesterday and mentioned that it was 4 in a
Yeah.
row.
There was a lot of surprises Friday night.
But North Side,
Dorset had a good outing,
Dixon.
and Dixon did too. I think we got a lot of good stuff going on Friday nights in Onslow County right now.
And Northside did okay, and that's where Robin lives.
Yes,
He
it
lives
is.
right around the corner. The vice chairman here lives right around the corner from Northside. Did you know that? By the way, I wasn't sure.
I think I knew that.
Okay, just checking. Have you been over there to their ball games?
No.
Oh,
Not close enough.
I'm a Jacksonville High School Cardinal fan.
oh, good for you.
See,
Oh, come on, you weren't there Friday night?
No.
You gonna be there this Friday night?
No.
They're gonna be at Northside this
No.
Friday night. You could do twofer.
No.
He's busy. Busy.
Vice Chairman Robin Knapp joining us as well this morning. Good to see you guys for Commissioner's Corner.
Good morning.
Morning.
My doggy hasn't seen you in so long. He's just,
All happy. Where's this guy been?
he's been waiting for you. You haven't been around. So, my taxes going up.
No.
Let's just get that off the just get that off the burner right now.
Nope.
Okay, just check it.
There'll be no rate increase.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I got a email last night, whenever, that got some good news to the Bear Creek neighborhood.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
The fire station.
Fire station is on the way.
Yay!
Yes. It's
I know they're going to be happy.
very happy. I've heard a few people complaining, that the cost of it costs more than a couple of others, but you also got to include it's a couple years behind the others, and what cost that amount 2 years ago costs this amount now. So it's just, and it's nice. They got the bifold doors on the front, which open a lot quicker than those roll-up doors, and and sometimes we're a little anxious to get out because it's an emergency. We don't give them a chance to get completely up. But these doors are going to make some time difference, which makes it nice.
Robin was one of those first responders jumping on the fire truck to drive it away. He just drive through the door.
He drive right through the door.
Yeah. Yeah, he's shaking his head. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, I will say that area, the growth has exploded between Hubert and Swansboro. And, I read about the fire department that you're talking about putting out there, and it sounds like a state of art. I mean, it could almost be like a little mini EOC for that area.
Right.
And so,
150 mile per hour sustained winds.
Yes.
It's good for.
Yes.
That's good.
Good
Yes.
shelter, yes.
It's going to
Have
be
to rebuild it.
good for the community. They've been needing one for quite a while now, and it's going to be staffed mainly with Onslow County fire people, and then some of the volunteers as well.
Right. Excellent.
How's that setting with the volunteers in that neighborhood?
I haven't heard anything because the ones that are out there volunteering are out there a major part of it. And then, not enough. So we are able to supplement it with some Onslow County firemen.
Firefighters of yesteryear, volunteers. My dad was one. I mean, he started a fire department in Wilmington, Seagate area. But that the time when I lived in a fire district, a certain district like Pumpkin Center or wherever, I worked in that same location.
Right.
But today I may work 40 miles away. And
That's
during
right.
the day when I'm out there working 40 miles away, I cannot go rushing out to the fire station to go fight a fire.
That's right.
So that I understand the problem with getting volunteers, and there's no bad thing on the volunteers because they're out there busting their butts to do whatever.
Absolutely. I think we got 60 or 70 some county paid firefighters
Okay.
to help supplement, but you've got the professionals that are the volunteers that you can't do it without them, and they
No,
do a
absolutely
great
not.
job. And like you said, they're not all working within 10 miles of their station now. Some of them may be working near Hempstead, but if we didn't have them, we wouldn't have fire service.
And I understand also that we did have a few years ago some volunteers who are like when they're not working at their fire department at Camp Lejeune or at Jacksonville or wherever they're volunteering for wherever they live.
Right.
So at nighttime or whenever they're not on duty, they're available.
That's right.
So you got professional volunteers.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
see, that's good. A lot of people don't understand how great that is.
And they don't understand. A lot of people don't understand the time commitment for the volunteers. Is they have to have the same training as those full-time
That's right.
paid firemen at the municipalities or aboard Camp Lejeune. They're required to meet the same standards. So they're volunteering, but they're putting in the hours. They're putting in the time to ensure that they meet the standards. So our homeowners insurance is as low as it can be.
Yeah, that was the first thing that Lee mentioned when she read that release. That okay, homeowners insurance will be a lot better
I
off.
see it's going to drop. Yes.
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 Can I ask Vice Chairman No. One of the things I caught at the last meeting, I think Commissioner Bennett was talking about committees or appointing to things like on WASA and things like that. Are all the commissioners appointed to certain different boards?
Sort of. I mean, we have a lot of boards that have commissioner representatives, like on Trillium, on WASA, JOED, things like that. So not every. We don't have positions for every particular board that's out there, but for the majority of them, we have a representative. So, and it's either volunteer or whoever's elected by ourselves as to who to serve on what board.
Yeah, you got Paul's on the fire commission. Royce is chairman of WASA. Myself, I'm on the Topsail Island Shoreline Protection and the Juvenile Crime Prevention.
Yeah.
You've got the hospital.
Got the hospital. John Davis is on the hospital.
Airport.
Yeah,
Lisa's on the airport, and we just appointed Tony to the new one that was just recently formed, the Coastal Counties Coalition, as they're starting to look at all the things that's coming out of marine fisheries and wildlife. That is
Good person.
That'd be a hot topic, and it's a great position for Tony.
Yes.
I'll tell you, we got
He's familiar with it.
the smartest flounder in the world because they know how to swim to the Virginia line and
They
stop.
Yes, exactly.
Get out of range.
That's right.
So, like, with those boards, it's like with I'm on the Trillium board, and
Local, I don't know who it is. There's no name.
and which oversees the Dix Crisis Center, which is up and running now.
Yes.
That's important.
Yeah, that's important
Now,
for you.
are on these various boards, I know the ones that you guys are on, but do you know are people from other elected, like councils or
Some.
other commissions,
Some.
do they have just regular people from the community?
Well, we have some like on Trillium board. We have one or two councilmen from Jacksonville, but it depends on the board and what their functionality
I didn't know
is.
whether any civilians, non-elected individuals.
Yes,
They
yes.
are.
They're like on
Yes.
Trillium, they have their staff, and then of course the people that work there at Dix Crisis
How
Center.
about on WASA?
And Wausau's all elected. However, Royce is right now. There's some discussion to create some non-elected positions for Wausa.
Oh,
To redo that, so there'll be.
Any reason for that?
One of the things he spoke about in the meeting last time was there's of the Wausa board and the election coming up, it could be 6 of them that could change.
75%.
75% of it is up. So you really want to get some participation outside the elected area so you can create some continuity as you move forward.
So when you're saying that, Tim, are you saying people, I'm just going to throw myself out there, a non-elected official? Are you talking about?
yeah, you can go put in your name for a
Yeah.
board.
I'm just curious if that's because most of them right now are elected officials, right?
Right, all of them on
Yeah.
Wausa are.
Right.
You've got each municipality and the county. The county has 2. The city has 2. Swansboro has 1. Richlands has 1. Holly Ridge has 1, and Swansboro, I think, all of them have at least 1. Where the county and the city have a couple apiece.
We had a caller, but he hung up too fast.
I hope it comes to fruition. I think that's a good idea.
Oh yeah, I think so. Royce had a good idea with that, and he's running that or moving that around to get the support for that to move that forward.
We did not have any impact of any significance. Of course, we had some beach erosion a little bit here, there, and whatever. The near miss, shall we say, of Aaron a couple of weeks ago, or a week before last. Were we prepared? Were we in good shape? In advance, I know we got a new EOC director, and we had him in here last week chatting. Everything looked good as far as you know?
As far as we know, I didn't hear of any concerns or any issues that we had with if it did come ashore. We know they were in preparation as they're following it and watching it.
Right.
And Bradley Kinlaw, I guess that's who you had.
That's who we had.
Yes.
And we had Stacy as well.
And Stacy come too. So yeah, we got, he's doing a good job getting he's been with us now for a little bit, and he's really moving forward, and we're real close to getting ready to have a opening of the new EOC coming up. So that's going to be nice to have that ready to go.
Anytime there's something like that. They're always tracking the tropics. They're always tracking the National Weather Service. So they were well prepared, well in advance. They had contingency plans laid out in case the event that the balloon went up, so to speak. So we're good.
Yeah, they seem to be really, everything around here was just laid out like it was going to be another storm. And following the National Hurricane Center on this one was great because they were just spot on.
Oh, they did a good job with this one.
I was amazed and pleased with the way it went down. But happy it didn't come here.
Oh, absolutely.
That could have been ugly.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Robin, what we got cooking out there? Anything special that we need to know about? Anything we don't need to know about? Let's put it that way.
In terms of
Any activities that the county commissioners are dealing with? Anything? I know you're getting ready to start another budget. You just finished one, but you'll get.
I can't really talk
again.
about it because I'd have to kill you.
Well, get in line. You have to take out two people first.
I'd have to cut off your head
I'm
and
gonna
then
talk
lock it in
about
a safe.
something. Your strategic focus from 25 through 2030, very impressive. I read it.
What's that?
The strategic.
I'm just kidding.
Start with me. The strategic focus. I mean, that was very, very impressive. Great job on that. But I like the areas that you're focusing on, like the recreation, building a recreation center, not like what the city's putting out there in Williamsburg, but a recreation building center that's enclosed, that where you can offer through the parks and recreation more things for the youth of the community, like, basketball and stuff. We don't have anything indoors for the county.
No, we do not. We use all of a lot of the middle schools for basketball. And now we'll have, hopefully, as we move forward, have a recreation center that'll also house the offices of Parks and Rec. Because right now they're in a building there at Onslow Pines Park that's 50 years, 60 years old.
Right.
And our parks definitely need some updating, and that shows in the strategic plan. The strategic plan, I mean, you got to have a vision. And for years, I feel like we have been going budget to budget. And now we've got a vision where we can tie budgets in over a 3, 5, 10-year period and make decisions down the road and forecast the debt service and what it's going to cost. If something rolls off, we're prepared for the next thing to really increase the quality of life in Onslow County.
There was no long-term planning when I came on. There was none. There was no strategic focus. There was no focus. There was only focus on the next 5 years. It didn't go beyond that. It didn't go beyond 15 or 20 years. David Smitherman came here, revamped that, and decided to focus on the strategic portion of the county, but not for forecasting in 5 years or 6 or 7 years. He was forecasting 15 to 20.
Yes.
Long range thinking. And what people don't understand is that, well, I shouldn't say that. People do understand, but what's hard to comprehend is the length of time that it takes to implement some of these changes, because it's not a overnight thing. It takes years. You like for county commissioners, to say that you're a county commissioner, you run for the first term, you're only doing 4 years. You're not even
getting.
You don't know where the bathroom is.
You're not, and that's why some of us have run consecutive terms and been fortunate enough to be reelected, is because we want to see these plans take place. We want to make sure the right people are in the elected positions that understand that and that support it. Because it's not an overnight thing. And, when you're looking at the county, you're looking at Onslow County and the expansion, you have to take that into consideration. And then your strategic plan needs to focus in on that, but not for like 5 years or 6 years, like I said, to come out and look at something 20 years down the line. How is this going to affect the county and our successors in 20 years?
And I wish the federal government, they're kind of coming around to that to a certain extent, but I look at places like China, North Korea, Russia. They're not planning for what's going to be happening during the peak of the current lives of the people in charge. They're going way beyond.
So, a lot of people, obviously I'm half Korean, and my father and my uncle, all my cousins, when I was growing up, they served in the ROK Marines or the ROK Air Force or the Army and stuff like that. My uncle, And I have another uncle who was the head of the postal service in Korea. He was real good friends with that then president Park Chung-hee
Mm-hmm.
back in the 60s and early 70s. And my uncle, I never forget. He used to tell me, he was there during the Korean War, and he told me about the Chinese and their philosophy. And he said, that the Chinese are a different breed.
Yep.
They don't plan for tomorrow; they plan generation ahead. And he's right. And the things that we see now, people don't think it's, I sit back and look at the international affairs and all the news and stuff, and I think about all the little strategic moves that China throws at us, or what they're trying to do, and it's long term. It's 20 years down the road. They have the patience of Job,
Yes.
and that's the Americans are. Let's get it done now. Let's get it done in 5 years. Let's get it done in 3 years. The Chinese are no. We're going to take a seat back, and we're going to we'll get it done within 20
We're
years.
elected for 4 years. We got to get it done while I'm elected. I have to have a legacy.
Yeah, the Chinese, they haven't been around for all these thousands of years for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you sit
Haven't
back,
changed a lot, have they?
have you? And North Korea is a different topic. That's
That's just a wacky. That's the 1073 range.
yeah, pretty much so. But
You know what that is, do you?
but I admire the Chinese to a certain extent. I don't obviously I don't espouse their philosophies. I don't agree with them. I don't like their form of government. But their long-term objectives are impressive, and that's what a lot of the lawmakers and stuff that are in Washington need to focus in on, is their long-term. Don't worry about short-term.
I'm bringing that to Onslow County. Infrastructure.
Well, that's what, David, people always talk about infrastructure. They talk about
That's
infrastructure.
part of it.
We don't have infrastructure. We don't have this. We don't have that. You can't sit there, Tim and I can't sit there on the dais and all of a sudden, do the Aladdin thing and rub on the lamp and hopefully, boom, we're going to have an infrastructure. Because infrastructure involves a lot of moving parts, not just the county, like Department of Transportation. There's a lot of things that go on with infrastructure,
Right.
but David has the foresight to see that and understand that, and that's his goal. And that's why I think David has been a tremendous asset to Onslow County, his staff. He's literally redirected their focus long term to in fact, we have a person in charge of our strategic planning. And that's Angie Wilkins, and she's doing an outstanding job. We call her chief because she's like the chief of staff. She's up there. She's very intelligent, very bright, and very motivated, and they're doing a great job and keeping us within the lane, so to speak.
Really starting to do strategic planning all over.
Yep.
Onslow County, obviously, strategic plan is out. They are also in the process of building a strategic plan for Joed.
Yes.
With Onwassa, Jacksonville, and Onslow County really contributing to that. And I think they're, that strategic plan becomes a chapter in the Onslow County strategic plan. So as everybody starts planning and they start working together, it makes a world of difference because, and we've said it a lot, is what's good for Onslow County is good for the municipalities, and what's good for the municipalities is good for Onslow County. So if all of our strategic plans are connected in some way or some form, then we all can exist and build a great community. We already, I think we want to be the coastal community of choice. And
That's our goal.
and it's going to take all of us working on that and doing that. So looking forward to
Part
that.
of your strategic focus plan is an area that's focused on sustainable growth for the future. And I know by 2050, they're talking about Onslow County having a population of like 300,000. But in your
I think it'll be sooner than that, but yeah.
But in your plan, you go over the partnership with Joed, of course. You go over working with the county schools to make sure that you have enough school facilities by proactively acquiring the real estate in advance for these schools that are coming up, and investing in infrastructure at the Albert Ellis Airport.
Yes.
Now, let's for those of you who are kind of new to the area, Joed, Joed, Jacksonville Onslow Economic Development.
Right.
Correct.
That's what it stands for. Okay.
And that's the OAJ is going to be a huge part of that. We already have the extension of the runway taking place.
Yes.
I was on their advisory board at one point, and I asked the question. I said, "What do we have to do to get a Southwest Airlines in here?"
Mm-hmm.
And the answer just went, "Holy cow! You got to have a population of at least 1 million
Really?
to bring Southwest in."
Wow.
And I don't think Onslow County can handle 1 million people.
Here's what you could take a look at though, and because I take a drive to Wilmington once a month, okay, and I leave after the show, and I get there, an hour and 17 hours later. But during my trip up to around I-140,
Right. Yep.
I count as many as 62 FedEx vehicles coming this way.
And if you would go New Bern, do the same thing, you'll save the same amount. So it would make sense if we could get FedEx
Bingo.
landing in Onslow County and let them have
So-
one point and move out to the other.
So
right now,
They're
they're
just
2
smart
points.
way.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you literally counted 62.
I counted 62, and
They're coming in a convoy.
they are basically in the convoy. I literally, because I get bored on my trip.
Well, you're a man of specific, so you literally
I
counted
counted 62. My wife has been with me. Ask her; she counts with me.
I'm not questioning you. I'm just
And I try to make a record, and the record so far has been 62.
most people would say I counted approximately 60.
I know approximately nothing.
He
Okay,
counted
I was-
every one of them.
I just wanted to
Did you
pin you
count
down.
your rounds when you fired them off?
No,
Well, then you were really.
It was
Why? You should, but you need to know what's left.
That's right.
because after 3 rounds, it's over.
It is 62, Rayford, because I set it into my road and counted them because I couldn't
You
get on
seen them too.
17 because they're in the way.
But no, seriously, there's a lot of traffic coming this way.
Yeah, well, it's my brother's in town for a couple of weeks, and he was pulling out. It was noon. He pulled out into Onslow Pines Road. He said, "There's as many cars coming north as there is going south." He said, "Where are they going?"
Did he count them?
He said, "What?" No, he said, "Where are they coming from?" And he goes, "More importantly, where are they going?" I mean, it was just 5 minutes of straight
And are they
traffic.
leaving us any money?
Yeah,
What's-
they leaving
what's-
any money?
what's
There was
the count?
142 going north and 121 and a half because one was on the side of the road with a flat tire.
That's a nice tap dance without any music.
Mine, I got a witness.
Mine are made up.
Sales tax. For years, we've all talked about sales tax increasing it by a quarter cent, yada, 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 yada. And there was one stumbling block, which is no longer there for the last 8 months or so. In that, are we still giving that some consideration?
It's still, yes.
Big
Yes.
time, yeah.
Well, yes is a
And
good
we're,
answer.
and we're really trying to
Just
tie it
yes.
to something. Charlotte Met gets to tie it to transportation. If we can, potentially tie hours to a transportation or something. But we really need to look at what we can tie it to
I understand.
and put it to. So I think we're a little closer than what we were a year ago, 2 years ago.
You know what's impressive? If you go back and I was making this observation, I was talking to my wife the other day about this. You look at our budget, and it's pretty thick. There's a lot of volume to that budget, but there's a lot of hard work. And you look at how we've increased and where our money is and our debt services and everything else, is that we are sitting really well for county government. We're doing very, very well in terms of our money, managing our money, how we're supposed to do things, encompassing, our strategic focus, making sure it stays within the lane. So it's probably one of the better budgets. Well, I'll just be honest with you. It's probably one of the best budget, if not the best budget I've seen since I've been in term. And that's been, about 9 years. The focus has changed dramatically from when I first came in terms of our budget as to where we're going.
Mhm.
Originally, we started here and we were going to this particular line here, but the budget now is we're going here and we're going to there. And it's really neat to see the slight improvements, take into account the growth factor of Onslow County, take in account need for schools and stuff. We're sitting pretty good. We're doing really well, and that's a lot of hard work from the staff. I got to give it to them.
Now, one thing and we'll get calls, and I may get it before the show's over today while you guys are here. What about Onslow Memorial Hospital? My God, that place is just nothing. They can't do anything. They can't do this. They can't do that. Yada, 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 yada. I get an email that I read yesterday on the air from a headhunter offering me a job. in Louisiana. $750,000. I only have to work 6 months of the year for $750,000. I work 12 days on, 9 days off.
Yeah.
I have no call duty. There's a guy with my name, believe it or not, in North Carolina who is a physician, a doctor,
Oh, wow.
and they were offering me, thinking I was him, a
I
job
would've
as
taken
an
it.
anesthesiologist
Yeah.
for $750,000 for a half year.
Well, he worked in narcotics before you could handle that.
Wow. Well, I told him I can knock anybody out and keep them out while they're being surgicalized. Not a problem. But seriously, we can't afford something like that.
Well, this kind of, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm just gonna shoot my opinion out here about this because I hear it all the time from a lot of people. Over the years, people say I won't take my kid, my family to Onslow Memorial.
Hear it all the time.
All the time. And then I hear I won't take my family or kid to Camp Lejeune because they're a bunch of military doctors and, I don't want, whatever the excuse may be. And I'm sick and tired of hearing that because I've been here since 1990, came from Japan. I was with the Navy there, working with the Navy, I should say. I came here, all I can say about Onslow County Memorial Hospital is every time I had a situation with my father, in fact, I had a situation with my son when he was 6 years old, coming home from a drug surveillance, 2 o'clock in the morning. My son walks out in the hallway, he can't breathe.
Ooh.
I put him in my car and I rushed him to the hospital. And there was a doctor there. I'm not going to mention his name. He's retired. Great guy. He immediately saw my son, rushed him back to the back, basically saved my son's life. He couldn't breathe. He had an asthmatic attack.
Oh.
And they kept him overnight. Well, they kept him for 2 days. Then my father. I had to take my father there. I've had some treatment there. Kelly's had treatment there. They have been nothing but short of fantastic. Okay. Even Camp Lejeune, I watched that hospital go from the Naval Hospital, Camp Lejeune in 1990, to the trauma center.
Right.
And what people don't understand, to acquire the certification to be a trauma center for a hospital is a huge, huge step. There's so many qualifications that you have to meet, so many requirements that have to be met and followed. So, they're going to be quirks as far as the administrative portion, as far as that's concerned. But all in all, these people that are at the hospital, they work hard, they work to save people's lives. And you got to remember that doctors and nurses and everything are human as well. Okay. They're human just like you and I, but overall, they've been fantastic. Every time I've been in there, even when I had my little incident last October, they went above and beyond to make sure I was okay. They admitted me to make sure I didn't have a stroke. And they ran every single test they could to rule out the possibility of a stroke. So, to me, I don't know what more you can ask for. Everybody has their ups and downs and their bad stories, and I get that. But I get tired of hearing people constantly complaining. I'm not taking myself to Onslow. I'm going to drive to New Hanover County.
Well, Robert, you bring up a
you know
good
what?
point.
You go drive to New Hanover County, and you may end up dying on the route
That's
to
right.
New Hanover.
That's right.
So,
Well, a lot of people that you hear grumble about Onslow Memorial are people that have gone into the emergency room to be seen by a doctor and have had a long wait time. And general nature of most people is that I want to be seen first. I'm the most important, because we all feel that way when we're sick and we go in. And that's where I hear most of the complaints. But we have to understand that the hospital cannot turn away anyone.
That's right.
They have to see anybody who walks in that door. So they have a system that they use. They triage you when you come in. And I think that's where most of the complaints are coming from, people having to wait.
when I went in for my stroke, they immediately came out and gave me a test, a physical test.
Right.
Asked me all these questions. And when they determined that I wasn't in any danger, I had a seat. I waited for about 45 minutes. So I saw the doctor. And then they went through all the tests and they admitted me and they wanted to do more tests. So I get that. I understand that.
Right.
All I'm saying is that, a lot of people, are quick to criticize, okay, and not analyze. So what I'm saying is that, there are a lot of good folks at OMH and I just get upset when I hear them, the hard and dedicated workers at OMH, to include the doctors, emergency room techs, radiologists, everything else, keep getting banged up for doing a job. It's like being a cop. You know, we get banged up all the time, but that's just part of our job, and we're used to it, and we just blow it off. But these people are in the business of saving people and trying to make split decisions. You know, what I'm saying is cut them a huss. They're doing their job.
Well, you know what? One of the issues that I don't have with the hospital, but one of the issues I have with the people and what's going on. When 5 o'clock rolls around, there are no urgent cares, yada, 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 yada. They're not taking the people who
Right.
go there because they need a doctor for a head cold or a splinter in the finger. They're going to go at that point in time to ER. That's just the way things are.
That's
Some
right.
people, I have learned from the medical staff over there, they're using their ER as their primary
Primary
care.
care physicians.
Right.
And they go after hours. They have no insurance. They have no money. Hospital can't turn them away. They urgent cares can,
Mhm.
or
That's
whoever
right.
they have. They can. I mean, they're for profit. Onslow Memorial is there for service, completely and totally, but they can't turn them away. Now, what that means is when they're in line and somebody else, Lee, Robin, you, me, and we come in there, we're in line with a similar type of an issue, we're going to be in the back of the line
Mhm.
That's right. You'll be
unless they
seen as
triage me that I'm bleeding or not breathing.
That's right. That's right. And even once you get into a room in ER, that or you did in
That's the beginning.
people forget that when they're running tests aren't done in 5 minutes.
That's right.
You know, they come down and they have to call for the blood to be drawn. So you have to wait for the person that draws the blood to finish where they're at to get to you, to draw the blood, to get it to the lab.
Yeah.
Then it takes so long for the lab to run it. Then the results come back down. And you're not the only one that the blood's being drawn, the lab's being run, the
That's
results
right.
coming in. So it's a wow.
I'm glad you brought that up, Tim, because people don't realize you're down on the first floor in an emergency room. These same technicians, x-ray technicians, labs, they're working on all the patients
That's
that are
right.
on the floors.
That's exactly right.
And
And that lab is running everybody's stuff. I mean, you know, you can get your blood drawn, you may be 45th in line to get what that is. Then some of it's a culture that has to run, has to sit there so
Oh,
long
yeah.
for it to even register with whether it's negative or positive or not.
Well, congratulations for the groundbreaking ceremony, the partnership with Onslow Memorial out there at Burton Park,
Oh, yes.
That's
Yes.
building
cool.
a medical facility
He's
out
talking
there.
about the Trask building.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I was interested in that. I got a couple of calls and saw a few things that
Oh, yes. I
people
saw
were
it.
going, why is Onslow County spending $14 million? Well, number one, Onslow County is not spending $14 million. Trask Land Development is spending $14 million in build. This is a private entity that is building this facility without a dollar from Onslow County,
Right.
and their tenant is Onslow Memorial.
This is what bothers me about this, okay? And I know this one very well. Okay. Burton Park. For years people have been clamoring about something to happen in Burton Park. Gotta do something in Burton Park. Gotta do something. Our county manager at the time and the attorney, they brokered a deal with Trask that showed an interest in the area.
The right man too.
Yes. Away from Trask. I mean, look, like Tim said, we're not spending money. They are spending money. They are spending money to bring a medical facility there, not just a medical facility, but some other peripherals too,
Restaurants.
Yes.
restaurants or possibly a coffee shop or whatever it might be. And there's a long process to get to this. But the people that are complaining that we're not doing anything with Burton Park, and here we are doing something with Burton Park, save the county a ton of money.
Yeah, yes.
We have an individual, an outside investor, putting in $14 million for this project. You know, they said, some people have said, well, you can build it for, save the county money, you can build it for $8 million. Okay, what part did you not understand? We are not paying for this. So the $8 million, $14 million is not on us. It's on Trask.
Right.
He's bringing this building here. So I guess I'm getting a little older and more experienced being a commissioner. You know, you have to take some of that stuff and you have to put it and you have to confine it in a bottle and leave it there because it doesn't make any sense. You know, you're on one hand, you're complaining about in Burton Park, and then when we make progress, let me say that again, we, the county, are not spending money. They are. And then you complain about that. You know, it kind of tends to get a lot of us upset that we ignore it because this is progress. Burton Park. This is the first step to Burton Park. And once we get this facility up and running, who knows what else is going to come? Because you go through Burton Park now, and you see a lot of empty space.
Yeah.
I mean, you do. You see a lot of empty
And-
space.
But it's growing. There's a lot of stuff out there on some of those back roads and the side roads
Right.
and stuff like that. Sheriff's office has got a big facility out there.
They've got a very
There's-
nice
oh,
facility.
Yeah, it's a great place. So
Oh, yes.
there's all sorts of cool stuff out there. Steve, good morning. You have a question?
Hey, good morning. I actually do. I don't know if the gentleman this morning could answer this or not, but I've asked this question recently: is what's going on with Piney Green Road and the lack of maintenance on the mediums out there? Do y'all have any idea on that?
That's your problem, Robin. You figure it out.
Well, that's- Okay.
I'd love to say I had an answer to that, Steve, but I do not.
I have no answer. I didn't even know we had a major problem. Part of that road is within the city limits. And
Small portion from
Yeah.
Lynchburg. This
exactly, but I think that's a
17.
That's a DOT matter as well.
it is.
And as far as
It's a
department,
state road all the way.
yeah. So as far as maintenance and as far as accountability for that road, we have no control as commissioners. Even the fact that it resides in Onslow County or the city of Jacksonville, that's a Department of Transportation issue. And I mean, if you look at how long it took Piney Green to be completed,
I live here. I know.
Yeah,
20 years.
You
I was
know,
gonna say, yeah, I fully understand that was a long project for sure.
that was
But
longer
in
than
most
that.
areas, I was gonna say, in most areas, going from a 2-lane to a 4-lane causes economic growth and businesses to pop up. And it seems like what they've done is a deterrent to businesses wanting to go on Piney Green Road.
I can't.
I could be wrong. That's my opinion, but probably over 50% of that medium, the grass is at least waist high.
Oh, it is. I drove Piney Green Road the other day, Steve, and I thought the same thing. It's time for the, I don't know if they contract the lawn maintenance, the maintenance of the grass out to some different organizations, and some of it's DOT.
They got a schedule, and I
Yeah.
think it's maybe like twice a year or something like that.
And
Yeah.
They do it.
And from my perspective, I'm down here in Carter County, right there at the intersection of 24 and 58. DOT's got money to plant wildflowers for the last 20 years, and that grass don't get over 6 inches tall, and they pay private contractors to cut it.
yes.
And if they got flower money, they ought to have money to 15 minutes down the road to do something with Piney Green Road.
No, you just
It makes it
coined.
look run down.
You just coined.
It does.
You
It
just,
really
you
does.
just coined a phrase, man. I love what you just said. Flower money. That makes me laugh. So, your permission, I'm going to use that in the future. I'll be using
Yeah.
that flower money. I love it.
If they would plant that all along our roads in the county, I'd be happy.
Well, we'll just
That would look. The sunflowers would look better than what they got now.
Because you
for
know
sure.
that's my
Yeah.
biggest rant.
I'd rather than plant tomatoes so that I can go out and pick them because mine died.
Now you're
Uh,
impeding
you
the
could run
flow
over
of
the
traffic.
record. That
then,
would be
then you
good.
become a thief.
I help them plant them.
It's kind of like when I grew up in Hawaii.
You stole tomatoes?
No, in Hawaii, you could drive from Honolulu to Waihua, where I used to live. It's like out in the country. But all along the way back in the 60s and early 70s, it was pineapple fields.
Oh.
Pineapple fields. Now, that weren't barbed wire or anything. And my dad, I remember a little incident. I was 6 years old. My father was driving, and he pulled his little Rambler over on the right side of the road before he got home. He told me, he said, stay in the car. And he ran into the field and grabbed about 6 pineapples and threw them in the trunk and took off. And I remember looking at my dad. I asked him about that before he passed away. I said, Dad, you remember that time? He goes,
Nope.
yeah. I said, you were a thief, man. You stole those pineapples. And he says, no. They were free to the taking. I said, Dad, that was private land. I said, well, I'm a private citizen. He wouldn't give it. It went on and on. But that's what it reminds me. I'm sorry. I digress.
I've got a few calls on the other side of the county too, with the medians on the other side of Ridgeland. So I know exactly what Steve's talking about. Be able to clean
Right.
those areas up. At least aesthetically, it makes things look better.
And I agree with you, Steve, because it's an eyesore. Even in my neighborhood, when I drive by, I see the areas that are responsible for either private contractors or the city, and I see the grass. Like I keep my yard maintained, and I drive down and I see,
Kelly keeps your yard maintained.
huh?
Kelly keeps your yard maintained.
No, she's
No, I
allergic
do.
now to
I
grass.
keep my yard
Robin
maintained.
has to.
Kelly cannot cut the grass because she's allergic.
Oh, bless her.
Yeah, I got a question. If somebody in the city limits let their grass grow that tall, would somebody say something to them about
Yes.
Guaranteed.
You're right. They guarantee they would, Steve.
it? You know,
I will say-
so
I will say, Steve, that the medians and the roads that the city's responsible for their medians, they do a great job of maintaining that, and as opposed to what the state is not able to do.
Yeah, and for the county folks, why? And in another county where I was, they had not every month, but about every quarter, they had DOT showing up at the county commission meeting, so they could bring some of these matters to the attention directly to the engineer.
Oh yeah.
And I also would think that Onslow County itself would, from an economic standpoint, help, businesses and tax revenue and stuff like that. Wouldn't let that brand new road look so bad. They have an interest in it as well.
Yes, yeah. and I will share that with our folks today. And hopefully we will be making some phone calls to the engineer's office to see what we can do to get them out there.
Steve, I gotta go, man. But I appreciate your comments. So I just want your permission if I can use your term flower money. I like that. Can I use that?
You better steal that one because I'll be using it.
Can I use it?
They use it everywhere. Yeah, they got flower money for
flower money and flower power.
Wow.
But thanks, Steve. I got to run. I got to get to work, but I appreciate your call, man. That's a good conversation.
Robin, appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Have a good one there, Robin.
Yeah.
I wanted to get with you, but I'll get with you afterwards.
The vice chair
Okay,
has to leave, but I still have another question for the chairman.
Oh man.
Explain the 2040 Horizon Plan.
2040 Horizon Plan is just the work on zoning and rezoning and make sure that we have a better structure and try and maintain the difference in the urban and the rural
Right.
as we continue to move forward. That and Onslow County's facing such tremendous growth that I think 20 years ago, I don't think we had rezoning 25 years ago. I can't remember when it got started, but it was a free-for-all.
It was.
And now you have people that argue too that it's my property. I should be able to do what I want to on it. But it really comes down to that 2040 really helps us control to a certain extent the
Like
growth,
future land
the future land use and stuff like that. And it really gets to Stump Sound area it's the fastest growing. It's the biggest booming area in Onslow County right now. And people are sharing their concerns with the growth, and I understand that because I've been here all my life. I've seen the growth. When Tony was on the board 20 years ago, we only had about 150,000 people here. Now he's back on the board, and we're at 215,000.
So it's his fault.
We'll blame it on Tony. Sorry, Tony.
Now, one of the things that bugged the crap out of me for years and years and years. And this thing called ETJ, a municipality, has extraterritorial jurisdiction by statute of 1 mile beyond their borders. And they can control the zoning by the city council or town commission or city commission, whatever they are. They can control whatever goes in there.
Yes.
Because they can zone it themselves the way they want it to be zoned, regardless of how.
And now I think, haven't they limited
And they're
it?
not even. I'm not sure about the limit. I hope so. But the problem was, so they would put the people living in that 1 mile ETJ, they didn't vote for these people and they couldn't vote them out.
Well, I have that. I experienced that when I built my house. The county come out and they went, wait a minute, this is ETJ. We don't do the permitting here. And then then the city came out and they did their permitting there. And I was not I called the offices. And
you couldn't vote them out.
And I asked them who my representative was on the city council to help me win that, but they told me I couldn't vote, so I kind of was very argumentative about things. But eventually they were able to take care of what I needed to have done to build the house. But we're no longer in the ETJ. That's been backed out, and I think there's more limits on some of that stuff now out of Raleigh. I'm not sure what it is. I wish I did.
So really, it probably needs to go away. The only people that need ETJ are the people like the law enforcement who have to chase people into the ETJ.
Right.
That should be it, and that can be a separate thing, not ETJ. That's just
some mutual.
I think hot pursuit is one of the laws that actually comes under. There was a statute. If you're in pursuit, just keep on going.
Keep on getting them.
Now but a lot of folks were prohibited from doing things, and then the county comes along, and then they do whatever the county's got to do for this so-called ETJ area, and then you got conflicting zoning laws.
Right.
for
Right.
the folks who live in those areas. Duh.
That's the truth, because once it goes ETJ, you now fall completely under the city's zoning and
Yeah.
permitting and everything. So it was quite interesting for me during that time frame of trying to figure that out, because I had to go before the city council on a rezoning of the field in front of my.
And you
In
couldn't
front of
threaten
my
them, I will
house.
never vote for you
And,
again.
it was quite in. We won the deal, and Mayor Jones was the mayor back then,
Mhm.
George Jones, and it was an interesting time frame. I left the microphone that night, and as I walked away, he asked me to come back to the microphone.
Uh-oh.
And when I got back to it, I said, Are you gonna embarrass me with my arguments now?" He said, "No, sir." And his response to me was, he said that was one of the best presentations from a citizen related to zoning, and that my father would be proud of me. And I said, "Oh, thank you." And it didn't happen.
Besides that, you know where the bodies are buried.
Yeah.
Did you just mute me?
I'd muted all of
But you
us
muted all of us.
I thought it was just, I was like, I didn't say anything.
because that wouldn't go over well with it.
Okay. Well, getting back to the strategic focus area there, some of the performance measures that you're looking at enhancing or applying, utilizing, like 100% of the sheriff deputies being trained in crisis intervention.
which is great. I mean, that really, you you see these other places wanting to defund the police and put
Yes.
social workers out
Kinston.
there,
Mhm.
and that's
Right.
not a good idea. That's
No.
just a terrible idea. But we really work with Sheriff Thomas and meet his request and budgeting desires and needs, and training his deputies to really handle the situations themselves,
Mhm.
because situation can escalate quickly from a trying to talk someone down to
0 to 120 in 2
yes,
seconds.
and you need to have a deputy that's there for that. But you can't. You can't put somebody out there trying to handle a situation, and it can change real quick. And you need
Right.
a deputy there that can handle
Absolutely.
both.
Absolutely.
Here's one I didn't understand. Increase the number of residents living in poverty receiving FNS. What is FNS? Financial.
I'd have to go hunt that one down again. I cannot remember. I couldn't make it up, but there's somebody out there that knows what it means, and they
Probably,
call me out.
Right, yeah. Maintain response time of less than 9 minutes 90% of the time for EMS calls.
Yeah, a goal for a good goal to have as we
Right.
continue to work, and we're currently building and working on a strategic plan for fire services throughout the county.
Yes.
We are in the process of selecting a company to build the strategic plan. We have
Okay.
several people that is on that committee to select that, and that is we have a representative from the city of Jacksonville, representative from Camp Lejeune. We have one from the volunteer fire department representing them. And then we have a couple others that are a part of it.
Right.
That are actually just selecting the company that's going to do the interviewing, to do the review, and help build the strategic plan. And once that team that company is identified, they are going to go to all of the volunteer fire stations, meet with them, talk with citizens, interview citizens, survey citizens to what it is that they would like to see happen and what they feel they need. So it's going to be a very collaborative effort in really bringing things together between the volunteer services, the municipalities, and Lejeune is and the goal is make Onslow County as best we can with all the
Right.
entities involved, and really use all of them to their expertise, because you got the professionals that are in the volunteer services that are also a part of the paid services, and then when you start bringing everyone together and really building a service out with everyone involved, because everyone together is I don't know if it was a Sitting Bull that said it when he had the one stick and he broke it, and individually we're that weak, but when he put all the sticks together, you couldn't break them. I think that's the analogy, is together we're better, with more services working together and actually having a strategic plan to build that out with what the needs are.
Some of those folks out there that I hear it. I used to hear it all the time. Don't hear it so much anymore, but because I'm not out there. But I call the police department. I call the fire department. I call the EMS. I'm waiting for an ambulance. We've been here for an hour waiting for an ambulance to get here. The greatest example that I ever had was pulled up in Wilmington, downtown Wilmington. Not my turf, but I was not working, but I had a radio with me all the time.
Right.
And pulled up, and a car had just wrecked. I mean, tires are still spinning. The smoke, the radiator steam was coming out. Just happened. The guy jumps out and he says, "I just called 911. It's been 5 minutes ago." What?
Yeah.
No. So I called dispatch on my radio, because it's a lot faster than me going through the cell phone system.
True.
And they said, "Yeah, just got the call. EMS is en route." Okay, thank you.
And it's not an instant response.
Well, this 30 minutes ago, because it seems like 30 minutes for
That's
the
right.
people who are standing there.
I've had a few calls where people have, shared that it took, 45 minutes for them to get there. And then we share that with the leadership, and they go and they research and investigate it. And a lot of times that 45-minute wait may have been a 12-minute wait, because when you're in need and you feel like you're in an emergency,
seems like
2 minutes is an
Oh,
eternity.
right.
And I've been in that situation where I didn't think they were ever going to get there. But they also take the person that takes your phone call, ask a lot of questions to really determine the emergency type situation. And part of our planning down the road is, how can we assist someone that is not in need of an ambulance to show up, but they're in need of someone to come there, assess quickly, and or send someone to them to get them to a medical care facility, because it's not always an ambulance that needs to show up.
Mr. Kinlaw, the other day we were talking about it, and with Stacy Bradley Kinlaw from EOC director, and Stacy Miles, the deputy director, the new video calls.
Oh, yes.
People can actually, once people learn how to do this.
Let's do that right now. See how that works.
No, stop it. Once we, the people out there, know when we pull up to a wreck that, hey, we just there, we can call 911 and show them what this whole scene looks like.
Right.
And that can help them gauge very quickly. That visual is a lot better than somebody screaming into the phone, by the way.
Yes.
They can see, it's a one car and the guy's already standing outside the vehicle, and it's a fender bender at the most.
And the same thing
Right off the
over with Sheriff Thomas and the sheriff's
The drones.
office with the drones.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Can't wait.
That thing comes in there and lets them know real quick what to expect when they, having more information you have prior to arrival, the better prepared you'll be when you arrive.
Absolutely.
And I think that's so
fire
important.
call, smoke coming from the building.
Yeah.
The fire flames shooting through the roof is different than a kitchen fire where
Right.
you've got
That's right.
a hot pot on the stove.
That's what
exactly
you
right.
brought up one time, was smoke investigation, and they send 3 or 4 different fire departments where
Because they don't know.
yes,
That's right, they have
the
no idea what's going
911, they could be standing right there and say, "See, there's smoke coming from my oven," and I think that'll save a lot of valuable resources.
Put your resources where they're needed.
That's right, exactly.
Right.
And I think that's what the strategic plan, our Onslow County strategic plan, and then really the fire services strategic plan is
Right.
really going to help all the services
It will
be
be.
better than what they're good now.
And I do
but
want to
technology
say,
will help a ton.
this strategic plan, I think it's masterful, if that's such a word, but it was also based on a lot of information, citizens' input, because citizens were given the chance to fill out a public survey.
Mhm.
And I know that a lot of your plan is based on what the people wanted here in Onslow County. Now, I have put the link in the comments section on YouTube and Facebook, and it's not a long read, but you need to go in there and read it. It's really
Right.
good.
And part of that's, is public safety. Part
Yes.
of that is recreation, services
Right.
in schools,
Senior
senior
citizens.
citizens.
A lot of good stuff there.
That is, all those are great things,
Mhm.
and we're getting ready to move into another reeval, and we're going to have to lower the tax rate.
Well, of course.
Because the reeval is going to be
Right.
up again.
My
So
home's
we've
worth a
got-
whole lot less now.
I think mine is too.
Just let me fill it out for you.
That's right. Let me take care of this one for you.
Save you the time and money.
And then the services that we have is, people always are wanting quality service.
Right.
And Onslow County, I can't remember, we're the 12th or 15th most economical county
I
to
was gonna
live
look that
in, and which is great. And then you have some areas that they post their tax rate at, let's say, and these are all numbers that I'm just making up.
Mhm.
You may have an area where their property taxes is 45% on a $100 evaluation, but they don't add, when you use that number, you don't look over here and go, oh, there's a 15% fire tax. So now the 45 is
Or
now
fire
gone to
districts in
60.
a lot of places.
And then there's this other landfill tax or whatever.
Oh,
And
wow.
now they're at 71%. And we're taking, of our 65.5, we're still doing it is taking 3 cents of that and moving over to fire services, which has been huge. And once we finish the strategic plan for the fire services, I think we're really going to.
We don't need a lot of different agencies inside the county setting their own tax rates.
Right. Absolutely.
Because those tax rates are set by people that are not elected.
Oh, yes. Yes.
You don't understand where I'm coming
Oh,
from.
yeah. It's a lot easier for an unelected person to set a tax rate because there's no.
What you gonna do about me?
That's exactly right.
Fire me?
So,
No.
that's it. Absolutely.
Well, I do have to say, with all this focus that you're setting on for the next 5, 10, 20, 30 years or so, in doing all this without proposing raising taxes, I think is a good thing.
Oh, I think so
So
too.
they're going to raise taxes.
You don't know that.
Yes, I do, but they won't raise the tax rate.
Right.
Right.
There's a difference. There's going to be more tax
Yes.
money coming in because there's going to be more people to tax.
And then you lower that tax rate as low as you can to meet your needs.
Not your wants.
But not your wants.
Well, have you heard
Yes.
Carteret County when they, having to reassess their values over there?
I have not.
Oh gosh, I'll have to look that up and we'll talk about it one day. It was about
Grenades.
3-4 months ago they came out with a new story, and I'm just glad I live in Onslow.
That's the truth.
Yes. Woo.
Well, if they double the value of my house across the county,
Sell it for that
if they
value.
double the value
It's
of
true.
every house in the county, all the property,
We're going to move
then the
into
tax rate should be half of what it is now.
You got to drop that tax rate.
Because you cannot, otherwise you'd be
Right,
just in,
right.
well, where'd all this money come from?
Oh,
No,
yeah,
you don't
that's-
need it.
That's exactly right. You don't need it.
Don't just look for a place to spend money.
right,
No.
right.
Just
yeah.
because it presents itself doesn't mean you do it, because what's going to happen is if you don't move that tax rate and then the values drop,
Right.
well, you're going to find yourself trying to raise it, or you're going to cut a lot of things that you were doing. So
then you're going to have a problem.
you got to walk that balance of what you need based on dropping that tax rate.
If another
when it
Florence
comes up.
comes through and devalues the prices of houses in this area for a whole lot of money,
Oh,
or
oh
there's
yes.
some kind of a catastrophic event that occurs, we still need the money to pay for this. Where are we going to get the money? You better
How
find
is
some
our
grants.
rainy day fund?
It's great.
Okay.
It is really good. And we've got it set up. I wish off the top of my head, I could remember the different pots that we created. One is a tax rate stabilization fund. One is a disaster fund. So I feel like we've done a real good job of taking that fund balance and putting it in
Excellent.
areas specific as if they ever present themselves. And we're in great financially. Onslow County is in probably the best shape it's ever been in, with our fund balance of facing disaster if it ever comes, and then really meeting the public safety needs. Is at the end of the day, most of the money is spent on public safety, education, and health services. And it's interesting that 82% of the budget is mandated. And then the other part is what we can do ourselves, which is, your parks and rec and things of that nature. But your health and human services and your public safety and your education eats up most of that budget.
It does.
But I truly feel like we've done a good job of meeting the needs of the folks in Onslow County. We can do better. Everybody, you always want to do better. If you're ever happy with what you've done, then you're not going to improve anything. But if you're constantly looking at how you can save money and still provide quality service, I think that's the thing is how can you save as much money as you can or save money for the citizens with the taxes, but provide the services that they desire or that they need.
Absolutely.
I think the most important thing is you call 911, somebody answers, and somebody shows up.
Yep.
And I think that is extremely necessary for
primary.
that. Yep. Well, I've enjoyed it this morning.
Chairman,
Well, thank you.
We appreciate you coming in.
Yes. Y'all have a great day.
Giving us a lot of good information.
We stayed
hope
out
so.
there. Hopefully the public can stay caught up. That's what we wanted.
Absolutely.
That's what we're the purpose of having you guys in here, not to badger you.
That's right.
Except for Robin.
Except
I
for
can
Robin.
badger you.
Absolutely.
Well, that's a given.
Y'all take care.
All right.
Thank
take
you.
care.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
Chairman Tim Foster, the Onslow County Board of Commissioners, joining us this morning, and we do appreciate them.
Yes,
our
yes.
elected officials coming in, those who help make decisions that affect all of us.
Right.
You know what?
Well-
Whether you live in the city or whether you live in the county, you live in the county.
Well,
Okay.
they've got big plans for the residents of Onslow County.
Yep.
They have a lot of good plans. I didn't see where I thought anything was wasting money. And like he just
let
said,
me look at it
we
for a little
have
while. You know I'll
a
find
great
something.
rainy day fund. And so I think we've seen over the last decade things taking a turn in Onslow County and things coming together better. And I'm really anxious to see what the future brings us.
I'm really feeling good about the future of Onslow County.
I am too,
You know,
yes.
I hope we can dodge any disastrous situations for a long
Exactly.
period of time. We still need to get caught up from Florence. I'm sure there's
Yes.
still probably some blue tarps somewhere or another around the county.
Probably so.
And people are still recovering from some of the damage that was done
Right.
and paying for it. So,
Right.
it set a lot of people back.
It did.
Their homes,
It's hard to come back.
they were knocked back. Insurance rates went up as a result of it in some cases. That's just the way things work. We got who we have tomorrow? Well, we got Dr. Rose and we got Mr. Wright will be
Mr.
joining us
Wright will
tomorrow.
be
So,
in,
ladies,
yes.
You're Mr. Wright. Will
And
be
I'm
with us
working on
tomorrow.
a surprise for everybody. I'm not even telling you yet. I've had a guest.
Surprises.
It'll probably be by phone, but
surprises are not nice.
no, you'll like this.
When
one.
you talk
You'll like
about
this one.
me,
No,
I don't get along with surprises very well.
I'll tell you before it happens.
Well, that would be smart.
I just don't want to tell you while I'm making arrangements.
Just want a little quick piece of news. The
Go
Coast
right
Guard achieves historic milestone. They offloaded 76,140 pounds in illegal narcotics in Port Everglades at one time.
Wow.
Wow.
I bet the boat that took it off of is floating a little lighter now.
Maybe more than one boat. They generally they
Wow,
stay at
that's a
sea for a
lot.
while. This was offloaded 76,000 pounds. Good God. At
That's
Port
a
Everglades. $473 million worth of dope.
Shoo-wee.
Largest quantity of drugs offloaded in Coast Guard history in Port Everglades. That happened yesterday. The cutter Hamilton's crew offloaded 61,740 pounds of coke and approximately 14,400 pounds of marijuana. That's marijuana, y'all. Wow.
Wow.
Good job. And
And
So-
Coast Guard just celebrated a birthday, didn't they?
Yeah, last month.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Or maybe early this month, last month. So anyhow, we will see you tomorrow morning, y'all. We do appreciate
That's
you listening. Appreciate the call, Steve. Thank you. And whoever hung up and didn't wait for me to pick up the phone. And y'all come on out and we'll join. We'll talk again tomorrow morning.
All right.
You're live on Local Real Talk. Right here where we're always awake, never woke. Have a good rest of your day. Be safe. Bye.